Hi, Lotuses. Welcome to another episode of the Lotus Letters podcast. We are on episode number 8. We are almost at the conclusion of this season. I am super excited about all the guests that we've had, all the topics that we've covered. And tonight, we are covering a topic that is near and dear to my heart: deliverance and mental health. I am your host, Maddie Stevenson, and let's get started. First and foremost, I need you all to send us those letters to the Lotus Letters podcast email. That email address is lotusletterspodcast@gmail.com. Again, lotusletterspodcast@gmail.com. We also have, drum roll, merchandise available on Amazon. That's right. Go to Amazon, put in Lotus Letters Podcast merchandise, and you shall see all of our little spiffy products. We have t-shirts. We have tote bags. Man, we have a throw pillow. There is nothing better than a throw pillow. A throw pillow can go on your couch. It can go on your bed. It's just dope to have. Gift it to someone. If you don't like throw pillows, if you're not one of those females that has 45 pillows on your bed, gift it to someone. I want you to take a look at this bag. I love a good bag because I love carrying things around. Moms, get this bag. It has great material. It has sturdy straps. And it's cute. If nothing else, it's cute. So go take a look at our Amazon link and buy something. Support us. Tonight, I have my sister Shamila. Let me tell you, there is nothing like having one of those weeks and just coming on a Friday, unwinding, sitting on the couch with your shoes off, just chilling out with your girls. So I have my sister Shamila here. Say hi.
Hey.
Shamila she's an elder. She's a speaker. She's a singer. She's a cousin. She's an auntie. She's all of that in one. But I love the fact that when she does speak, when she does preach, she always incorporates the importance of a healthy mind. And in today's climate, in today's society, that is one of the most important topics. I often say on the show that many of our thoughts, many of the things that we hold on to, many of the actions that we release starts here. Yes. I know that a lot of things start in our heart. It starts in our heart, but our mind plays an important part of that. So just like every show, we're going to start with a letter. But instead of me starting with my letter tonight, Shamila is going to read a letter that came from her heart.
All right. Dear Lotuses, stop pouring everything into others and running on empty. There is something extraordinary about you that's worth more than what you have left. It's time to view yourself beyond the past experiences that shaped you. Seek therapy. Let out your emotions, whether it's yelling, crying, or expressing yourself in other ways, and discover who you truly are and what you're capable of. Go for a walk to shed the weight of the words that have tried to define you. Learn to appreciate the reflection in the mirror and make any changes you desire. You've been confined by others' limitations, but it's time to embrace your freedom. Freedom means having the power to articulate your feelings and self-awareness, independent of others' assumptions. You were created beautifully and uniquely in God's image, and their perspective doesn't alter the masterpiece you are. Deliverance is a gift already given. Bondage, however, will cost you your peace, your mind, and your ability to grow. Be free, be bold, and be unapologetically yourself. Shamila.
I love that. I love how you told them, for lack of a better term, what to do, but you also gave them instruction. You gave them suggestions.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think we tell people what they need to do, but not how to get there.
Yes. Yes.
And that is very important. Tell me what was going through your mind when you was writing that. Where did that come from?
I think it was a personal place. Being somebody who is into walking now, right? I was walking one day and I was like, well, I'm walking and trying to get this weight off. We're in this movement where we're shedding weight of weight loss, right? And I was walking one day and I was like, no, I'm walking off some words too while I'm walking. I'm walking off, I'm a failure. I'm walking off, I'm not going to make it. I'm walking off, I'm not good enough, or I don't fit in, or who are you, or who are they? I'm walking that off. And so as I was thinking about my letter, I was like, hey, I wonder who else is feeling this way. I wonder who else is walking for weight loss, not wondering, you know what, I'm walking for something else. I'm releasing something else while I'm walking, right?
Absolutely, because for me, I can only speak for me. The mental health aspect in itself it requires a holistic approach.
Right, right.
If we work on one area without touching the other area, something's going to be off.
Off balance. Yeah.
It's going to be off
Right.
balance. So I love how you said when you're walking off the WEIGHT, we're walking off all the other WEIGHT that actually help contribute to
To it.
that
Yes.
WEIGHT.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we eat our emotions.
Yes.
We eat out of boredom. We eat because, it's emotional eating for us.
Yeah.
So we are walking off
Yes.
the weight.
All of it.
Is double. And even one of my podcast shows, I was saying like walking in itself gives you a new environment. As far as like you get to come out your home or
Right.
wherever you are.
Right.
You can walk on your lunch break.
Right.
You might just need a break from work that day, but it gives you a new environment. It gives you a change of scenery, so we can clear our mind.
Yes.
So that in itself is double. The holistic approach that I want to talk about in regards to deliverance and mental health.
Yes.
I believe that oftentimes we try to isolate the two or keep the two separate when they are in actuality interdependent upon one another.
Right.
What are your thoughts in regards to that? I know I have my thoughts and my perspective, but I definitely want to hear yours.
I think, and I'll say as a preacher, right, we believe you pray it out, you get delivered, you set free, you pray, you go to church, you fast, and it'll be good. You need some therapy. You need some counseling. You need that professional component too, right? And going through therapy, it's okay. I've learned, getting to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I need to speak to a therapist. Like, I need to speak to somebody who does not know me, who is professional enough to know who I am in the vein that I'm in. And going through that, it was like a breaking. Like something took place in those sessions. Something took place where you begin to reveal everything that was brushed under the carpet and not dealt with. And you begin to deal with under the carpet and say, you know what? I am facing this. I'm having a problem, but I'm going to be okay. But I need to face it to fix this, right?
I started out telling the Lotuses that I love to hear you preach because you do incorporate mental health. You go right at it. You talk about depression. You talk about schizophrenia. You talk about negative self-image. Why is that so passionate to you?
Because I lived it. I lived through the lens of everyone else but my own. And it was like one day I went through the process of the scales falling off and then seeing myself I think sometimes we look in the mirror and we look in the mirror reflecting based on what somebody else said, right?
That's true.
We don't know what we see. And if you really think about it, they see you before you see you. So when you arrive, right, they'll see whatever they see. But you don't allow them to define what they see. That's the issue. Like, we've given them permission to define us based on their perception. No, this is who I am. I'm going to be able to define who I am, and then you can take it from there, instead of me allowing you to define who I am, and then I take it from there.
So in actuality, they think they see you.
They think they see you. They think they know you, right? Because people like, oh, she's this, she's that. No, she's not. You think that's what she is, and then you get to know her like, oh, she cool. Like, we cool. Like, oh, no, that's not who she is, right?
And it's so weird. I'll use weird, Lotuses. I'm using weird. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's weird, but okay. It's weird how we start seeing ourselves through the lens of what others see us, even if it's not true.
Even if it's not true. Yeah.
We'll start asking ourselves, well, am I standoffish?
Right.
Am I abrasive?
Right.
And there may be a little merit every now and then to that.
Right.
But that's not your overall character.
No.
That's not overall who you are.
Right.
So now those words or those thoughts and opinions of others, we start internalizing that. Yeah. We start believing that.
Yes.
And those things or those thoughts that people have projected upon us sometimes start showing up.
Yeah.
Showing up in our weight.
Yes.
Showing up in our mood.
Right.
Showing up in our conversation.
Yeah.
But you said that you had to really unpack and you had to go to therapy and go through therapy. If you don't mind sharing, what caused you to get to that place?
Oh, wow. Just thinking about childhood things, thinking about, being raised by a single mother, right? Then turning around and having a daughter out of wedlock, right? So now it's like, oh, the church girl got a baby. And just looking at all the things that you experienced as a child, just, colorism, being raised in a predominantly Caucasian environment and being dark-skinned, right? And relocating to a more diverse area. Like, how do you function in that? Why am I clutching my purse around my people? How do you do that, right? Because that's your narrative of where you were brought up. So now I'm around people that look like me, but I'm clutching like I'm not them. Wow. And just relearning who you are. You grow, you age, but you don't necessarily mature unless you desire to. And so at one point I was just like, you know what? I need to talk to somebody. I just want to see what it's like to lay on the couch and have a discussion like on TV, right? And it was awesome. It was awesome to see somebody that looked like you talk to you and walk through and unpack that. Like, wow, oh, this is good. When do I come back? And it's a confident, because, the biggest thing with us is confidentiality.
Right.
Like,
right.
Oh, sis, hey, friend. And then, like, you done told my business, and you can lay on this couch and let it all out and don't nobody know. It's like, oh, this is cool. I'll be back. So
it's a place to be vulnerable.
Yes.
It's a place to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And that's why we have the couch here as well.
Yes. I said we on the other couch now, honey.
This is exactly, it's something about sitting on a good couch. And I tell all my guests, so this is, go ahead and take your shoes off, because we are chilling and get comfortable. Because it's just something about being able to unpack, be vulnerable, and it being a safe place. Yeah. I love the fact that you said, it was something with your childhood.
Yes.
And I'll be completely honest and transparent. I can't ask you all to be transparent when you come,
not, right?
if I'm not. So in my therapy session, I was telling my therapist that there was something on someone that I was encountering that was really making me afraid. I was totally afraid. I was fearful. And I told her it made me feel like a child. Sometimes as a child, things that appear to be monstrous, we are afraid of them. But when we grow up, we say, oh, that ain't nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
So she said to me, speak to the little girl in you. She said, because you referenced you were afraid like a child. So it was that childlike fear when I interacted with that person that made me feel paralyzed, made me feel helpless, made me feel hopeless, made me feel numb. She's like, speak to the child that's in you. Tell her it's okay. Tell her that it's nothing to be afraid of. And that right there freed me. Because a lot of times, it's like you said, it's the undealt issues that came from our childhood.
It is.
That was powerful. I just had to stop and pause and sit in that.
And
because
it's probably
that was
so
great.
many of us with that issue, right? And we think it's the adult us. No, it's the little girl in there trying to come out. Like, let me out. Like, you still got me in here. She's caged away. We have trunked away. You know them little trunks people put at the bottom of the bed and you stuff everything. We've trunked that little girl away. And that little girl is like, let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Yeah.
She just stayed inside of us, and little guys stayed inside of us. Just, we're carrying her along.
Yeah, we are.
And we're now adults.
Yeah.
Some of us 40, some of us 50.
Right.
And she didn't grow.
She did not grow.
She stayed paralyzed. She stayed stunted in her growth. But we just carried her along the way.
Yeah.
And can you imagine carrying another individual throughout your entire life?
Right.
Talk about weight.
That's weight. That is weight. Yeah, for years.
She's not developing.
No.
Or he's not developing.
No.
He's still afraid.
Right.
Afraid of whatever incident, whatever trauma that they dealt with. That they, well, actually they didn't deal with.
They didn't deal with it.
That they encountered, but never dealt with it. That's why I say all the time, that holistic approach where we're really talking about the mental, physical, and emotional, that piece is important.
Yeah, it really is.
We have to be able to touch each one of those and not be afraid to do so. Yeah. And I think that really is where the deliverance and mental health comes in. To be fully delivered means what to you?
Free. Free. Wear what you want. Say what you want. Go where you want. Appear, pop up. Sometimes you gotta pop out. Ain't that what
Pop up and pop out.
But yeah, be you. I think we have put on so many masks. We don't know who we are anymore. You wear so many masks. You don't even know who you are. Which one is the real you? Who are you? You know. And when you get to that place, you're gonna know, because she's bold. She is on fire. She is not listening to what they're saying. She is doing, she at a point where she's like, who is they? I had a moment today. I was like, who is they? Who is they? Because there are 8 billion people in the world. I barely know 1,000. So who is the they that's hating? Who is the they that is, who are they?
Who are they?
Girl, who are they? I don't know who they are, so let me keep doing me because I don't know who they are.
Tell me about it.
And it just gives you to this place of freedom. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, according to how I'm supposed to do it, on purpose, in purpose. I'm not worried about none of that.
Tell our listeners, how do you get to that place? Because, going along the way, let's be real.
Yeah.
There are people that you really value. You value their voice. Yeah. You value the relationship. You value their opinions. And some of them, their voice and their opinions are weighty in your life. Right. You want to be able to measure up. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. You want to be able to please them sometimes. Yes. And sometimes you'll want to measure up and please people at a level where you will forget yourself. How did you do it?
Woo, you hit.
You will forget yourself. You'll forget what your vision is. You'll forget
Yeah.
your goals. You'll forget your
Yeah.
dreams because
Yeah.
now you'll start filtering it through what they have said.
Right,
And you'll
right.
start navigating along this path. And then you'll look up and there's time lost.
Yeah.
You're miserable. You're
Right.
somewhat sideways
Right.
looking at them like,
Right.
but you really should be examining yourself
Right.
because how is it that somebody else's voice and vision for you trump yours?
Right, right. I always tell this analogy. I always say, how can you continue to withdraw from a bank that has nothing? And I think we as women, sorry, man, I'm gonna take a break. We as women, we withdraw so much. We do it for the children, we do it for the men, we do it for the job, we do it for the mentees, we do it for the friends, we do it for the sisters. And then we wake up one day and we like, we don't have nothing. We have nothing. And so you have to reverse that. Like, I had to take a moment. I remember I spoke recently and I was talking about, going through a mourning season. Like, I'm in mourning. I'm not mad because somebody died. I'm mad because I died. I'm mad because I evolved. And I miss that little girl. Like, sometimes you yearn for, and this is going to sound so weird, but you yearn for the bondage. You yearn for the dysfunction because that's all you know. And so when you come out, you're like, oh my gosh, there's no drama. Like, I gotta have drama. That's all I know. I move, I function off of that. And so now you have to create new things to where I don't have to be dysfunctional to function, right? I can function the way I'm supposed to function. And so you have to make sure that you're depositing into you and then you give them what's left instead of depositing into them and then you get what's left.
And we become not only accustomed, but we become comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Comfortable while also being in discomfort.
Yeah. Comfortable in it.
I'm only asking you this question because I do know that you are leadership in church.
Right.
Because I dare not speak against the bride of Christ.
Right.
I'm part of the church.
Right.
I love God.
Body of
I
Christ.
love
Yes.
his people.
Yes.
I honestly do. However, I feel like there are tools that we need to start giving the people of God. And I oftentimes say you can look at a ministry and tell where the leader is lacking.
Yeah.
And you can look at a ministry and tell when a leader is strong. But in this day and age, I feel like many leaders are doing all that they can.
Yeah.
They are doing things from an unhealthy place as well because they pour, and they pour. And the world does look at pastors in general and it don't let them get a salary.
Right. That's a big problem. They can't get paid. Right.
They want them to pastor and they want them to have careers. And that may be doable for some people, but everybody don't have the ability to do that because their parishioners may be calling on them to come to the hospital every day, attending their family functions or officiating funerals. It's just a long list of things that people don't see that go on behind the scenes. But I feel like we still need to stand accountable and be able to give the people of God instructions on how to live a holistic life. I understand that a lot of the times money is an issue or a challenge for the parishioners. So you may be having a lot of sermons speaking about how to manage your funds.
Right.
But how can they successfully integrate a holistic list of instructions to them?
I think we need to be open. I think we need to say, you know what, you do need God, but you need therapy. You need some professional help. And I can't give that to you. So I'm gonna refer you to this individual. I also think we have this season or shift where the people who are supposed to serve the vision want to be the vision. Like, no, it's that leader's vision and you're supposed to help grow that vision, right? Not to say you don't have a vision or that you don't have a ministry or whatever it is, but in this space, it's to help them. So if we get in our rightful place and we lift the arm and we help the head instead of, trying to buck up against it or become it. Like, learn how to support. We don't support. We don't know how to be friends. We don't know how to be supportive. We don't know how to share. We don't know how to like. Because if it doesn't include us, we don't want any part of that. And we got to get out of that. We have to get out of this self-entitled. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but we're in this self-entitlement. Like, it's me and that's it. And if I'm not in it, then we don't care about it or we're not going to support it. We got to get out of that. The millennials or the older generations, we didn't function like that. We helped everybody. And so it's very interesting to see that shift taking place.
That's a very, very unique, very good insight. Yeah. I really like that. Sometimes people don't want to support other people's visions, especially if it's not theirs.
It's not theirs. Or if they're not included. If I'm not invited, I'm not watching that. If my name ain't on there, I'm not going.
But we are many members
with one body.
And we do need each other.
We do.
And I'll even go a step further to say we need each other, but we need to be able to trust each other.
Trust, yeah.
And a lot of times I think people don't support or don't become involved because they feel like it's not a safe place. Yeah. But I will say, not just in the church, just look at corporations. Let's look at outside. Sometimes leaders are unbalanced themselves. And we can't beat up the people that help us. Right. Or is sent to help us. Right. And then sometimes leaders, and I'm not just talking about church, I'm talking about secular, in general. Just general sometimes they don't get a chance to heal. Right. So they're looking at people sideways when they come in. What's your angle? Right. What's your motive? Are you here to stay? I'm here to serve. Right. So can I trust you with my vision? Or are you going to try to sign off on it and make it yours? Right. Are you going to try to sabotage it? Right. So I get it both ways. Yeah. And I think that's all the more reason where deliverance and mental health is important, right? That's so true. Where people can heal and recover and not drag unnecessary toxic baggage into the next relationship. Use it as wisdom, as a resource. Tuck it away in your toolbox so the same thing won't happen again, but don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. That is so true. Use that old information to identify red flags and don't make the red flags yellow. Right. And don't make the yellow flags green. Right. Because if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck. It's a duck. Not necessarily holding the new person to the old person's standards or way of doing things. Yeah. But let's not be blind.
And as a new person, don't compete and compare what was.
There you go.
Because innovation is here, right? You're creative. You have new ideas. You have a fresh perception. You don't have any tie to what was. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, I see this. Let's try this. And we have to be able to be open to that in all facets of life, work, church, the marketplace, in the family, whatever it is. We have to embrace that. We have to embrace the new.
I thought about that when you were referencing the vision stealers. Mm-hmm. What I heard was stay in your own lane. Yeah. Walk in your own shoes. Yes. Walk in your own truth of who you are. Yes. Be the best version of you that you can be. Mm-hmm. Not the best version of who you think I want you to be, or the best version of who you feel I need you to be. Yes. Be the best version of you. Mm-hmm. Because if you're the best version of you, there'll be no miscommunication. None. There will be no, oh, I thought you was the one. You'll know that person isn't the one because their real person showed up, not their representative.
Right. And there we go back to the mask. Now you got to take the mask off and put on a different mask, and we got to figure out who you are today. But yes, that is
and then
so
we don't wasted time. Because we thought you were the person for the job.
And you not.
And then we got to reassign you. Right. We got to reclassify you. Right. So be your authentic self.
Yes, authentically you. Unapologetically you.
And I think a lot of times people won't be their authentic self because they don't like their authentic self.
Right.
But
Do
do the
something
work.
about it.
Do the
Right.
work.
Yeah. Do something about it.
Do the
Yeah.
work.
Do the work.
And stop lying to yourself and others.
Yeah. That is so
Because
true.
a lot of times I have lied to myself
Yeah.
about who I am, what I wanted to do, what I thought I was called to do, what my
Wow.
purpose is.
Wow.
But it came from me needing to be healthy here.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to pull and navigate all these pieces, being what people thought I should be, and being what people thought I was called to be, and what I should be doing for a career.
Right. Everybody has a voice except for you on
Yeah.
who you should be. Everybody got a voice except for you on who you should be. Yeah.
And I had to really incorporate this 1 2-letter word that's the same in every language. No.
No.
It's the same in every.
language. No.
I had to say no and stand on it.
And be okay with the no.
Be
'Cause
okay
you know
with the no.
the emotions come after the no. Well, I think, I believe, okay. No. Sorry. No.
I never understood why saying no to people made me feel bad until I went to therapy.
Yeah.
And there was a sense of needing validation. And it wasn't the validation where I needed someone to say things great about me.
Right.
It was just wanting to feel needed,
That little girl.
wanting to feel like, oh, I do fit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people do that, not from a negative place, but they want to feel like they fit,
Yeah.
like they belong.
Yeah.
So now they're overwhelmed, overworked, tired mentally and
Right.
physically and stressed,
Yes.
but they keep going
Yeah.
because it speaks to something that they are missing.
Yeah.
It fills that void.
Yeah.
And they learn to be comfortable in discomfort.
Yes. Wow.
I wrote down 2 definitions that I definitely want to say. Deliverance means set free from spiritual oppression or bondage, stemming from negative spiritual influences or demonic forces. And when I saw demonic forces, I was thinking about religion, those toxic practices that we were taught. And a lot of times those toxic practices that we were taught those because the leaders wanted us to really big up them.
Right.
They
right.
didn't come from a pure
Right,
place.
right,
So
right.
it wasn't spiritual, it was religious.
Right.
And mental health. Mental health involves freedom from emotional, psychological, and behavioral disturbances. Both of those work in tandem.
Right together. Like a puzzle with 2 pieces connected.
They're not standalone.
Right.
Because if you're healthy emotionally, mentally, and physically, you won't just accept everything that people say.
Right.
You won't accept everything that people do. Because you really do treat people how to handle you.
Right.
And what you allow says you're okay with it. And sometimes you have to just do a reintroduction of yourself.
Pop out.
Shamila Ministries need to have a pop-out t-shirt.
I need to have a pop out t-shirt.
Pop out.
Just pop out and reintroduce yourself and let them know who you are. Because they don't know. They got to know. You got to let them know who you are. And be okay with the response. Because I believe that when you do go through this reintroduction phase, you meet new people that assume you are whatever they are, right? Because it's like this evolving, revolving reintroduction. Like, who are you talking to? Because you ain't talking to me, so I don't know what you're talking about, right? Just ask, just ask. I'll tell you.
What do you want to leave the Lotus listeners with on today?
I want us to really. I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. I was like, you know what? Sis, I need a break. I just need a break. And it's okay. It's okay to take a break. I was going live all of the time, giving words of inspiration. And one day I was just like, I'm tired. I need a break. Like, oh, we need you. Come back. Give us. If I don't have anything, I can't give you anything. And sometimes you just have to step away and do you. So don't feel bad doing you. Don't feel bad putting you first. Don't feel bad going after that dream, that goal, that purpose, that want, that desire. Don't feel bad being about you, putting you first. Like, put you first. Because years are going, time is gone, and you cannot go back and get that time. I am very big on time because you can't get back time, right? People waste your time. People be late on your time. Like, time, I can't get back time. I can make that money again. I can meet you a different day. But time, I can't get it back.
That's how I can tell we're interconnected, because I tell people all the time, I am a stickler for time because you can't spend it twice.
You cannot. That's it. I love that.
You can only
cannot
spend time
twice.
once.
Yes.
So spend it wisely.
Yes.
What I heard when you were just saying what you were saying, a lot of times when we talk on our phone, we have to recharge it.
Yes.
The battery wears down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you just said spoke to taking time to recharge. And refuel.
Yeah.
If we just keep running and running and running and going and going and answering, we're going to drain ourselves. Yeah. And there is someone that's near and dear to me. She says to me all the time, she tells people, if you use all of me up now, you will have none of me later.
I love that. I'm taking this.
So pop out.
I'm popping out.
Recharge.
Yes.
And don't allow people to use you up.
Yes.
Because you don't have anything left for yourself.
Right.
You don't have anything left for your family.
Right.
And lo and behold, if it's them using you up.
Whew, what you gonna do? You gotta get out. Well, go for a walk.
Take time to recharge.
Yeah.
So I've enjoyed this.
I did too. This was so fun. This
has been dope.
Yeah.
Shamila Luster Ministries. Go and look up her information on Facebook. It'll be at the bottom of the screen. If you want to book her for singing. She does women's conferences. She will preach at your Women's Day event. She now does podcast shows.
We do a podcast now.
Give us your email address.
It is shamilaw@gmail.com.
Now you know. You got to spell.
I wanted you to say it. So I can say it. It's SHAMILAHW@gmail.com.
It's going to be at the bottom of the screen. Thank you, sis, for coming through. This has been amazing. I really love your spirit. She's always like this, y'all. I've never seen her different.
What you see is what you get. You got to do the work to know who you are, right?
Absolutely.
And then when you find out, remain who you are.
And she's a singing somebody. I'm telling you. She is a singing somebody. Shamila Luster Ministries. Yes. Thank you. Lotuses, this has been another episode of the Lotus Letters podcast. You know I love you. Continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Send us your letters. Remember, you can come on the show and read the letter yourself, or we will read it anonymously and discuss it on your behalf. I am so grateful for all the likes, for the shares, for the things that you say to me in public when you see me, for the comments under the posts. I am ecstatic about all of you who continue to encourage us, who continue to say amazing things. And you don't have to always just say things that are great. We want to have feedback to be able to improve the show. What topics do you want to hear? What do you want us to discuss? Again, have a wonderful day, Lotuses.